Okay, I think I got it this time. You should be able to hear me now. Today, I'm going to be doing some fun and games with gel printing. If you're not familiar with gel print, it is basically a form of monoprinting. It's created on a gel plate, and basically, it's you put down paint and you pick it up with with paper or some sort of uh, something to pull it off with. So it can be canvas, it could be whatever. A lot of things work, and we're going to explore that on this broadcast. Not today, all today, but certainly in the future. So I hope you'll join me as we go along. I do not have the live chat. It's for some reason it's not loaded. I'll get that figured out for the future, but I'm going to get started and I'll share what I'm doing, and we'll go from there. So here we go. Let's go down there. Okay, so this is my gel plate. Basically, this one comes from Gel Elf, and I really love their product. You can keep these things clean pretty easily. Soap and water. If they get really grungy, you can use Murphy's uh, soap, and or you can just wash it with uh, baby lotion, basically uh, the oil, the baby oil, and that keeps it hydrated, keeps it fresh. You don't have to do it every time, though. Quite frankly, sometimes I like my plate to be just a little bit grungy because it adds a little bit of extra depth. So that's what it's all about, is to create as much depth as you can. So what I'm going to start to do is I'm just going to pull some prints, and we're going to see basically how this goes. I hope that we can. I'm hoping that we can get this chat up, and I can see what you all think, and maybe ask some questions. So, but for today, this is going to be very short because I'm just trying to figure out how to get my things working. So let's get started. You're gonna need some paints, acrylic paints, inks, whatever it is you want to use. A lot of things. Pretty much, it's up to your imagination what you can use. So let's put down some color and see what we can come up with. Yeah. This is a brayer, and a brayer is nothing but a soft rubber roller that allows you to put the paint out evenly on your gel plate. Right now, I'm just going to put some color down and see if I can get something started with this. This is just a placement tool. Make sure that I can get it to the same place every time. I've already cut this paper to size. You usually have to move pretty quickly because the paint will dry pretty fast, depending on where you're at and what your environment is all about. I'm in Arizona, in Yuma, Arizona, which is one of the hottest parts of the state. And although today is not bad, today we're in the when the last time I looked, we're in the lower 80s. But we could easily get up to well over 100. Okay, and I did wait a little too long, as you can see. So let me fix that. It's not a big deal. Notice my plate was upside down. The my little stops here keep it from sliding. Okay, that's not a big deal. I got a little bit on there. That's fine. Let's add some more paint to the top of that so that I can maybe pick this up. That's all it was. Like I said, it's very dry here, and I'm talking. So, you know, when you talk and you take your time with it, when it dries extremely fast, then you don't get the print you're looking for. But it's not the end of the world, ever. And I don't mind it being just a little bit gungy. I like kind of getting a lot of different paints going on. You get a variation down in the background. It's a nice look for me. Some people like it, some people don't. See how we did. Got a little bit more. Still some down on the plate. But you can see I'm getting some nice texture there too, which is picking up from the paper. This is watercolor paper, nice heavyweight watercolor paper. Copy paper, anything you really want to use will work within reason. And put down some violet. And maybe a little bit of a parchment. You say, well, I'm just putting down paint. You know, not a lot of interest here, but there will be. So be patient. This is nothing more than a placement tool. Allows me to get it in place, the same place every time. Not absolutely necessary. And as I said, this takes a little bit of time. You want it to dry to the back of it. Again, you know, better in there. See, I'm building up texture, building up color in the background. Let's throw some, you can vary this on several ways. And I think what I'm going to try to do is maybe because this is the colors are going more towards the blues now, I want to put some more of the pinks and the magentas in there. And like I said, I'm just building up color. Let's see if we can get a little bit more of a background to this. I'm going to throw up some and pick some of that paint up. This is what strength tissue, and I will use this for other things, because what I do with this paper is I save these and use them for collage work. This is an awful small stencil, but I'm just looking for the texture. You see, I can use that for other things. I'm going to put a little bit of gel medium on there. And I'm just kind of being random here. This is satin medium. So things have pretty much already dried. And just this is clear. It dries clear. It just allows me to reactivate the paint so that I can pick it up. This is a Baron. And a Baron is not necessary for doing this. Doing it with your hand actually has its benefits, and I prefer it in a lot of ways. But this puts down a nice even pressure. You don't get it all the way out to the sides, because usually that's where it dries fastest. And you need to get good contact with the paper to the paint. See how we did. Getting some nice texture down there. I'm not really following any color theory right now, and that could be start to look pretty muddy. But that's a nice starting point, and it gives us something to work with to start putting things on top of this. I think really I'd like to maybe do some more stencil work. Okay, I have a whole bunch of stencil, lots and lots and loads, that I can use with this. I think I'm going to go with something just a little larger. Let me see here. Okay, that might be fun. That might be a lot of fun. So let's put something a little more in your face. That's a lot of paint. All I'm doing is I'm pushing the paint through the holes on the stencil. That would work. Let's see here. Let that dry just for a few minutes. I can help it along by using a hair dryer. As you saw, I put down a lot more paint that time, and so consequently, it's going to take a little longer to dry. Okay. I'd like to put something more curvilinear on here to go along with the the flowers there. I want to use a contrasting color with that. So I'm not going to use the whole stencil, but let's put a nice, maybe a green on top of that. Boy, I'm getting in a lot of colors, but let's just do it. This may not be a high piece of art after I'm done, but it should be interesting. It should be a little busy, but that will be fun. And that's all it's really about, is having some fun with this. You should be able to see it through. The first thing that I put down will be the one that's closest to us. And so consequently, that second stencil will be there. You'll see it in the background. And because the yellow is semi-transparent and the green I put on top of it is semi-transparent, you should see both of them, maybe even a mixing of the colors coming through each other. Okay. I think it probably needs to go a few more minutes, but we're going to just push it. Okay. Let's see how we're doing that. Just having some fun, folks. My intention of this channel and for my live streams in the future is I will put out a plan before I go live so that you can maybe pull your stuff together, your own, if you're a gel plater, you can put your own stuff together and maybe paint along with me. That would be ideal. And once I have the chat, I can answer questions. Today we're kind of going a little blind. And again, that satin medium, it's simply just to reactivate the paints that have already dried to allow me to pick them up off the plate. And what I'm doing is I rub this down onto the plate. It feels cool if it's still wet underneath. So just, keep in mind that it's going to take time to let these dry. What I can do is when I'm working, I can use the dryer. My preferred way is to let it dry naturally. What I would do is I just weight it down with some books or something to keep the contact with the paper so that it doesn't curl up and not get it all. And let it sit for 10, 20, 30 minutes. With pieces that have lots and lots of paint on, when I get finished, I put them overnight. I put some weight down on it and let it go overnight. And it ensures that you get a decent print from it. So, okay. See how we did. Now, I have quite a bit of paint left down here. But you can see, you can actually see all of them. You can see the yellow, and behind that you can see the second color I put down, the green. So we got lots and lots of things going on there. So now, one of the things I can do, because there's a lot happening there, and I can make that a little bit more interesting if I just maybe let's clean up our plate just a little bit. Not necessarily do this step. These are baby wipes, an item I get off of Amazon. In fact, everything you see here I've gotten off Amazon except maybe my stencils. Stencils come from joggles.com. I'm not sponsored by Joggles or anybody else for that matter. But I will have a a shopping list on when I go to do my regular weekly dives. So you can follow along, and if you want to use exactly what I'm going to be using, then you'll have them. Okay, clean that up a little bit. Now, several things I can do. I can I can do a mask over the top of this, which would give us something that would allow us to actually block things off. A good example of a mask with something a little less flat. Would be something like this. And what that does is everywhere you see the mask will be left open, and all the where the masks aren't covering will allow will cover up what was below it. So let's put down a nice cover to the top of this. Maybe a little contrasting. Should we go? Let's try. Yeah, that will work. This is titanium buff. And you can see there's a nice masking of parts of this. It'll allow us to cover up some of what we have here. Create some more depth. And what I put down, that titanium buff, is an opaque paint, meaning that nothing can get, it's going to be a solid color over the top of this. So while that kind of does its things and dries, I want to thank you very much for being here. I think I'm going to probably do uh, one more element to this, and this may be something we pick up a little bit later and see if we can complete the image more. On my normal lives, I will go as long as it takes, but this is really just so that I can work out the kinks. So I appreciate you being here and working through this with me. It is really much appreciated. Let's go back down. So you see, we got a little bit more depth there. Just it picks up on what's there. Now I'm going to think of what I'm going to do with this. I'm going to put down some. I'm going to put down some. Pull this up. Pull this up so that I'm not dealing with that on top. The gunginess doesn't bother me. Now, the next part is a little bit more advanced, but it's one of the things you see a lot of people doing these days. I'm going to use an image. This is a line drawing that I created in Photoshop, and I printed it on regular copy paper. As you can see, I used the backside for something already, and I sprayed this with a little bit of gloss varnish to pick up on the lines. And I'll explain to you when we get there why that is. We'll see. It's a big chance here, folks. This may or may not work for me today. I'm going to do now, I'm going to take that paint that I put down, I'm going to roll it out nice and thin. Actually, when I get done with this and I get the right amount of paint down, it's going to look kind of matte to me. I'm going to take this image, I'm going to put it flat down. Doesn't take long, maybe 10, 15 seconds is all I really want to have it down. Just enough to get that hydrophobic to transfer over. So what caused that is the black on that was on off this laser copy. It is hydrophobic. So basically what it does is it repels. It's a resist for the paint to not soak into the paper. So what happened there is all the white area soaked up the paint, picked up the paint. Where the lines are, it couldn't pick it. It actually resisted from the paint being able to do that. Hence, you get that image down on the plate. I'm gonna clean that up just a little bit. The parts I don't want on the print. There was a chance because this is a print that I've had sitting around in my art room for a few weeks now. Okay, if it's a little gungy, not going to bother me. Okay, same thing I did with everything else. It's dry enough now. There you go. I'm just going to pick it up. With some satin varnish or some satin gel. I am not rolling back and forth. I think you might have noticed. I really don't want that. I really want to spread it out. I don't want to move it around like that. So let's put this down. Give it a good rub. Again, I'm sorry that I'm not able to see what's going on in chat. I will get that fixed. So next time we can chat as I work here, and hopefully we can work together at the same time. We'll call it a sip and paint. Get your coffee, your tea, whatever your beverage of choice is. For me, it's fairly early. I think it's like maybe 11 o'clock. I have to look at the clock. For you, depending on what part of the world you're in, it may be 5 o'clock and you can have another kind of beverage. But that's 100% up to you. Must stay hydrated. So this is going to be a fairly short one today. I'm going to pull this last one, and I hope that you'll leave some comments and let me know what you think. I'll be posting this in my long form, so if you want to go back and watch again, I'd appreciate it. Any comments you have, I'd appreciate that. And of course, if you haven't already done so, hop over to my channel and maybe give me a subscribe, a like, and a comment. Maybe even share. That would be great. So let's get back down. We'll pull this one and we'll call it a day. And there we go. We have our image for the day. So kind of a little hard to see with the glare. But, you know, that's just a simple image transfer over the top of everything we've done today. So I hope you found this useful. And I hope to see you here next time when things are a little bit more technically put together and we'll have some fun. So thanks for being here. I'll see you next time. Bye for now.